Hey, everybody. We are back. We are back again for another beautiful Sunday, the same time at UStyle Magazine Talk Radio. And this is your gorgeous host,
Miss Bridget.
Yes, and I am the one and only co-host, Lonnie.
Hey, my Lonnie boo.
Yes. So thank you guys for tuning in with us each and every Sunday at the same time. And we have a marvelous guest. We have a beautiful guest. She is amazing, doing some beautiful things in the community as her ministry. She's an author. Her name is Miss Portia Taylor.
Exactly.
So
Pastor. Let's not forget that.
Decency in order.
That's right.
Miss Pastor Portia Taylor.
Exactly.
So we are excited to have this beautiful young lady on, and she's going to grace our presence and share with us all the beautiful things that she's doing. So I want to, get down to the nitty gritty. What is going on, girl, with my Portia? My Bridget.
Nothing. You know what? I'm just these past 2 weeks have just kind of been sort of like an awakening for me.
Yes, ma'am. Awakening her goddess.
Yes.
Yes.
So just kind of falling back, just from a lot of stuff, just to kind of, sometimes you got to get all of that stuff out of there and just kind of fall back for a minute.
Absolutely.
And just take a inventory of what's going on in your life and around you and in your head.
Yeah.
Most importantly. So I just past 2 weeks just kind of took some time to just kind of get me and worry about me.
Because Bridget got a lot of things in the works, beautiful things that God is about to bless you with.
Yes. So a lot of great things has happened, and I'm just looking forward to continuing on.
Absolutely.
And what about you? Don't sit here and try to make this all about me now.
Oh, yeah.
Because Miss Lonnie always got something on her mind.
Yes, ma'am. So I've been busy. I'm just excited. I have this beautiful workshop that's coming up this month. The Beauty Behind the Broken Experience. And I'm just excited because I want so many women to kind of come from out of that broken place and find their beauty, embrace it.
Exactly.
And don't feel like they got to keep covering it up. And I just want them to be able to tap into who they really are.
Exactly.
And stop living the illusion life.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm excited. I'm getting ready. Some of my supplies came in today from Amazon. And I'm like,
great.
It's coming together. And I'm just so excited. And,
And I know that you also do like a chat.
Oh, yes.
Where you can dial in. What about that?
Oh, yeah. So my support group has grown tremendously. So just over a month and a half, I decided to do a support group call for people who have endured childhood trauma like myself and just be able to vent. And, surprisingly, what God is really is doing on that call, people are opening up.
Exactly.
And like, I didn't even know this existed. I'm like, God gave it to me and I'm just following it. And
so are you amazed the women that are coming now?
Yes.
That so many women are able to, get involved and are so attached to what you're doing. Does that amaze you? Like,
it's amazing
how many women?
Because it's like, okay, God, you gave me the vision, but at first I was fearful because I'm like, well, what if they don't respond? What if people still want to live in darkness? And what if, and God's like, why are you even questioning me? Didn't I give it to you?
Exactly.
And that's what I had to, be able to just say, okay, God, this is your ministry. This is what you called me to do.
Exactly.
So to see so many women just calling in And again, it's anonymous.
Right,
I
right.
did it like that so people can feel comfortable just,
Exactly.
being able to call in. But
Exactly.
even just this past Thursday, where everybody on the call had a business, but they was operating out of trauma in their business.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So showing up with that rejection mindset or their fearful mindset because with the labels that was told to you when you were a child, like you could never be this,
Exactly.
or you're going to be just
Exactly.
like your mother, and you're going to be on drugs just like this person. They were operating in their adult self, in their business,
Exactly.
living this.
Exactly. Exactly.
And one girl was like, I didn't even realize that. I was like, yeah. So when you sit back and say, well, I'm scared to talk to this person about my business because I think they're going to shut it down. And I'm like, well, where's that coming from?
Right.
Let's really unlayer these things that's happening. Where is this mindset coming from? And then when we got down and started digging, realized it was her mother showing up in her that told her what she couldn't be. So now you're walking, living, and treating your business as if you were still sick.
Exactly. Awesome.
So it was like, she was like, oh my God,
Right.
I'm so glad I got on this call. And she found it on somebody else's
Someone
timeline. So
else's-
we wasn't even
exactly.
friends.
Exactly. So that's why it's very important that you share, because even if it's something that you might not need, but there's always
Need
someone
somebody
else that it
else.
might touch, that may be like, oh man, you know what? I've been thinking about
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So
And
I
it's
think that's
important
awesome.
not to be selfish and not to say, well,
Exactly.
I don't need it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it may
Exactly.
not be for you to need, but if you share it on your timeline, maybe somebody, and that's what we need to do so we can get this
Exactly.
mental health issue together
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
help people where they at. Like people are so broken and they don't even know where to turn.
Well, I think sometimes they don't even know that they're broken. I think they get so comfortable in a broken state that it becomes normal.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so
and
you
most of
don't
us who
realize
have
that
gone
you're
through that,
actually a broken. Yeah, you're a
yeah,
broken
like
woman,
you're so broken because it is comfortable there.
Exactly.
Because you think about, so where I'm gonna live.
Exactly.
Or what I'm gonna do.
Exactly.
You think about all
Exactly.
these things, and God, like, okay, you're not gonna trust me.
That's
like,
right.
you're not
That's
gonna
right.
just cast
That's
your
right.
cares onto me. You gonna
Exactly.
keep trying to do it out your own will. Okay, I'm gonna let you sit right there, but I'm gonna be here for you.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be
Exactly.
here.
So how can they reach?
Yeah,
How
so
long? What
you
days
can.
is it so they can?
So it's every Thursday. You tune in at 9 p.m. You could go on my website, beautyafterbroken.com, or you can follow me at Lonnie Grant on my personal page, and I'm always posting it. If you're on my IG, which is Instagram, it's Beauty After Broken. So I'm here for you. I want to help.
Awesome. And that's right in line with our guest for tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
She's amazing. I've just
Awesome.
watched her trailer. I'm like, oh gosh, it was divine.
Yes,
it was
indeed.
divine.
I love the
This
fact
is
that we have
intentional.
so many women helping women.
Oh yeah.
You know, she, of course, as Lonnie stated, she's the author of a book that will soon be released.
Oh, yes.
Next month, if I'm not
Next
mistaken,
month.
called "I Am Not That Woman." So I think that kind of goes right on in line with everything that you're doing. You know, everybody is just becoming so in tune with women and the needs of women, and she falls right in line with that. So I think this is going to be an awesome show tonight.
It is.
Yes,
I can
indeed.
feel it in my spirit. I was like, yes. I can feel it. I said, come on, God, you always showing up and showing out.
So you guys don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we will have our special guest for tonight, Miss Pastor Portia Taylor, the author of the new release, I Am Not That Woman. So you guys don't go anywhere. We will be right back with our phenomenal guest for the evening.
Yes,
we will be
ma'am.
back in 2 shakes. Don't go anywhere.
Don't
All right. Hey, you guys, welcome back. We are here over here at UStyle Magazine Talk Radio. This is your girl, Bridget, and
Your co-host, Lonnie.
hey, and we are sitting here with our phenomenal guest tonight, Pastor Portia Taylor. Hey, darling.
Hey,
Yes,
ladies.
she's the queen up here.
Hey,
That's this
ladies.
big, beautiful smile.
Yes,
I'm just so happy to be here.
Yes,
Absolutely.
indeed. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell us all about you. What do you got going on down there in Charles County?
Goodness. Well,
yes.
so much going on. Well, as you said before, I am a pastor. I pastor a most awesome church called Victory Christian Ministries International of Charles County. We are a church plant of a larger organization. We have about 8 locations now.
Oh, okay.
And my
Wow.
husband and I, we pastor the one in Charles County under Apostles Tony and Cynthia Brazelton. And we've been there now almost 8 years.
Amazing.
Rocking the
Amazing.
county for 8 years. I mean, we
Amazing.
just went down there and blew it up. And so it's still blowing
Absolutely.
up for God.
Exactly.
And so
Wow.
we're excited about the church. It's a young church. It's a thriving church. It's not church as usual. There is no religion. It's all about relationships. And so
Wow.
you don't know what'll happen when you come in there on Sunday.
Absolutely.
We just let God do what he
him.
do, right?
Yes, let him do him.
And so we love pastoring. It's a joy to pastor people. It's a challenge, but it's a joy. And so I pastor. And now I'm an author.
Absolutely.
I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm your girlfriend. So
I love it.
Oh,
wrapped in one.
yes.
I love it. I love it. So
So-
your book is called I Am Not That Woman.
not that woman.
I need you to, first of all, before we get into the book,
Ooh.
I need you to explain this title, honey, because
Oh,
that's
wow.
alone says a lot.
I am not that
We need a
woman.
little bit more time, but listen, I'm not that woman is a declaration. It's not necessarily a message or even a book. It's more than a book. It's a declaration I've made since I was a young woman. I heard you talking about how we really have trauma. We have things from our childhood, and it was in my childhood that I had to declare I'm not who the world was trying to make me to be.
Wow. Wow.
And sometimes you got to define what something is not in order to realize who you are. And many times in life, trauma tried to come for me, different things tried to come for me that I didn't sin for, and that had to continuously be my declaration. I'm not who you're trying to make me to be. But then it caused me to find out who I really was.
Exactly. You know what? And I like how you say things that you didn't sin
Sin
for.
I didn't sin for.
I like that. Because
You didn't
how-
sin for.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
because
sin
how
for.
many times have you sat and things have happened to you and you say, why is this happening to me?
Why
I didn't
me?
ask for this.
Why me?
Yeah, why
And you
me?
get stuck.
Exactly.
You get stuck
Exactly.
at why
trying to
me?
answer that question, why
And
me?
God sometimes say, why not
He just
you?
said move forward.
Just move
Just
forward.
move forward.
Yep.
Let me tell you, God makes everything beautiful in this time. So I don't believe anything's wasted in the kingdom. And
Oh,
so
no.
even in my book, you'll see all that went on, all that happened in my life, God caused it all to work together for my good. So I don't define myself by the way the enemy tried to define me. And that's where that declaration comes from. Like, I'm not that woman. I'm not that one.
Exactly.
And so it's a lot in there.
Oh, yeah.
So what
Wow.
transpired in your life
Well,
that really made you sit down and say, I'm going to write this book?
you know, for me, it was like a moment when I was younger that it seems like all in one day, and it's in my first chapter, all in one day, everything that was trying to come from me came from me all in one moment. Could have really drove me crazy. But it was a relationship. It was a friendship. It
All the
was
ships.
all the ships, and it was betrayal.
Wow.
It was lies, all came from me at one time, and it made me look at me, like what's wrong with me. And sometimes we allow outside circumstances to come for us, to define us. And God never meant for those things to define us. And so I remember sitting in my pit saying, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? And the great thing about a pit is you can't go no further down. But God will sit in the pit with you.
Come on, somebody.
And that's what happened to me. He sat in my pit with me and told me who I was. And not that many things didn't continue to come for me, but when things began to come for me, I could declare that's not who I am. As I was discovering who I was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that comes from. That was the first
Exactly.
time I heard You're Not That Woman. In that first chapter, you'll see a conversation that I had with God, and it's a conversation many women need to have with God
Right.
and with themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So how does your husband feel about this?
Oh my gosh!
you.
You know, my husband is actually the one who pushed me to write it. He
Wow.
I mean, since day one. since the day we got married, he told me I was an author.
Isn't that something?
Yes, and
so
he
he saw it in you, and you didn't
Yes.
even see
Come on
it.
now.
And really, here it is. We've been married 20 years.
Oh wow!
Wow.
20 years.
Beautiful.
Yes. And here it is. Just last year, he was preaching on just creating new possibilities.
Exactly.
And I was listening to the message, and I thought, I need to operate in the new. So many times we hold on to our past and what we couldn't do and what we failed at that we don't move forward.
Never move forward.
And so I just leaped. I leaped and finished my book. And so,
Exactly. So
Wow.
how long did it take you to write? Because
Yeah.
you said you finished it. So when did you
So
start?
I started writing this book at 15.
Are you serious?
Wow.
There has been so many versions of it. There's been fictions. There's been so many versions of it. But I believe this is the best 100 pages you'll ever read.
Oh.
I wanted it to
Unbelievable.
be, I'm a straight talker, no chaser, straight to the point. And so I just wanted it to be plain language. It's written in very plain language. It's written from an aspect of when I was a young girl. But when you sit down and read it, it'll cause a lot of reflection. There's reflections at the end of each chapter to make you think and start a conversation. And all I'm trying to do is start conversations amongst women that we were scared to have.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So have you had this conversation with other women as far as the content of the book and what has been their
Yes.
response?
Oh my God. Deliverance,
Yeah.
freedom,
I was about to say, I can
declarations,
see freedom.
shouting,
Right,
hollering.
right.
Just, oh my God, I don't have to be who this world is trying to make me be.
Exactly.
What they call it, all the labels, even all the movement that's going on now, Me Too, Time's Up, it's all wrapped up into that. Just telling your story can deliver another
Exactly.
woman.
Exactly.
You say, me too, I've been through that too, but look who I am today. I did not allow that to define me.
Exactly.
And so it's conversations that women need to have.
Right.
It's never too late to begin again. Every
Exactly.
day creates new possibilities, and that's what the book is about. It's got a lot of juicy stuff in there too.
I can imagine.
Honey, so you say you started writing it at 15. So thinking back, like when you're going back and you're looking at it now, what are your thoughts?
Oh my God, I'm thinking.
Like, do
thank
you think,
Jesus.
oh my goodness, I went through this, I
Yes.
went through that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was just in the car reading it on the way here, and I said every time I write the book, I'm like, wow, thank you God.
Wow.
Thank you, God. I don't look like what I've been through.
Right.
Thank God for the revelation. I got everything. I made everything have meaning. I didn't let
You did
anything.
everything intentional.
Yes, nothing.
Right.
Nothing is wasted. And God uses everything. I like to call myself a beautiful mess.
Exactly. I like that.
Just he uses everything. He doesn't allow
Exactly.
anything to be wasted. And so I'm excited to tell the story. I really, really am.
Wow.
Yep.
I think that's kind of like the hardest part in trying to find meaning in your mess.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mess, but it's like, God, I know it's a meaning in this
It
somewhere.
is.
And if you can just help me find it.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
When you going through it, you don't understand it
Yes.
because you
Right.
again we say why me?
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
And God's like,
exactly.
Well, why not you?
Why not you?
Exactly.
I want you, but we don't because we're so used to not knowing the unknown.
Yeah.
That's what scares us. It's like, well,
Exactly.
he probably could use me, but I
Absolutely.
wouldn't know. You know, so
Exactly.
that's why people are so scared too.
Exactly.
So I know your book is going to just bless so many people, so many women, because we're in a time where people, the mental illness, the
Yes.
mental health, and it's
Yes.
like you not telling your story, you're causing sickness in your body. So more women need to read this. Like, please read this.
Yes. Yes.
It's going to help you.
Yes. Yes. And get out of the cycles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like Jesus came to destroy the works of the enemy.
Mm.
Not for you to be, and I'm not against medication, but that's temporary.
It is.
But he wants you to be free. And so
Yeah,
he
sometimes
came
you
to
have to get to the root.
get to
the
the root
root.
of what's
Yeah,
going
you
on.
have to
And
get to the root.
he wants you to be free, and he gets in there and he unties. Like you were saying, you don't know why your behavior is what it is, and it's not until God reveals it. And I say, whatever God reveals, he wants to heal.
Yeah.
And he reveals things in his time. I tell a story in there that I wonder why. When I started pastoring, I all of a sudden started getting like all these invitations to speak and be an MC, and I was like, why y'all? They don't know me. Why all these
God
people
knew you.
coming for me? Like I don't know these people. And my husband was like, you say that too much. Why not you? And he said to me, he said, you need to figure out where that comes from. And I begin to seek God on why do I have such insecurities? Why can't I show up? Why can't I offer what I have on the inside of me? What is this fear? What is this? And God brought me back to a place, like just in my prayer time, He brought me back to a place where I have a sister who's light skinned with beautiful hair. She was light skinned with real bouncy hair. Everybody always loved to be around her, take her places, and I was stuck home. Right. And I remember asking my grandmother, God rest her soul, I said, Grandma, why they always taking Nikki everywhere? She said, oh, because Nikki's pretty.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't that she said Portia's ugly, but that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
And God showed me from that moment, I started to see myself differently. Like I wasn't good enough. Like nobody wanted to take me. And here it is, 25 years later.
See?
I'm still wondering, like,
exactly,
why they don't want me? Why do they
want me?
So my question to you is, and even you, Lonnie, and I'm asking myself, how do you get through those insecurities? You know, because you hear it all. You hear, gosh, you know, you're this, you're that, you're amazing, you're doing some great things, but you don't see it.
Yeah.
Because the insecurities are still. How do you get past that?
I think for me, it's going back to that root.
Yeah.
What is the root that's causing you to show up like that?
Right.
That insecure. I don't know. Why not me?
Right.
So even for me, I had to go back and say, okay, in my book, I talk about my uncle who really verbally abused me so bad. So I didn't have no identity anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, who, what?
Yeah.
These people want me? No.
Yeah.
But I kept hearing his voice.
Yeah.
Saying, what you mean? You can't do that. You like your mother.
Yeah.
Right.
So I kept hearing that. And once I started going through my healing process and asking God to help me to break those layers, and I do my affirmations every morning.
Important.
So you gotta keep doing stuff because again, you heard that for so long.
Exactly.
So you gotta go in and kind of like do a whole adjustment to the brain differently and keep putting God in it. God, renew my mind. Yes. Renew my mind. And every day it gets better. Yeah. It gets better. Yeah. It can only get better. Look, yes, it's better. I don't show up insecure anymore. Yes.
Right.
And then when stuff brush up against me, I have to go back and say, what's that?
Yes.
Right.
Or say, I'm not that woman.
I'm not that woman.
There's your title.
There's
your title again.
It's a daily thing.
It's a daily thing.
I say all the time, honestly, insecurity is the ultimate insult to God. Wow. It's saying to God, you didn't make me good enough. Wow. You did something wrong.
Gosh, Portia.
You know, when you created me, I think it's the ultimate insult to God. And to speak to those voices, understand Eve will tell us, and I talk about women in my book, and I give them a voice. And if Eve was here today, one thing she would tell us is don't pay attention to things that distract you from your purpose. My God. And she will also tell you that there's so many voices. You think about it. She's in the perfect place in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
In the perfect place. Her man got a job. You know what I'm saying? She's set up in the perfect place. But there was another voice in the garden. And she listened to that voice and she allowed that voice to be louder. So I would say to women, drown out the noise and only listen to the voices that push you towards your purpose.
Amazing.
And that's the voice of God.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
So what's the biggest lesson or the biggest inspiration that you want women to get from this book?
I guess, Lord, it's so many,
much,
but I think the biggest one is that God always had a plan to refather you, right, to regene you. You know, many times I think women's greatest issues is our fathers. It's being loved. It's
and mothers.
All of it. And he always had a plan. From the beginning, he knew everything you were going to go through.
Jeremiah 29.
And he always had a plan. And so you have to look at those things and say, I've been regened. Like my DNA, because I accepted Christ, the God's blood runs in my veins. And I'm not who I used to be. So it's a story of beginning again. Right. And it's never too late. I don't care how old you are.
Nope.
It's never too late to begin again. It's a story of restoration.
Exactly.
It's a story of redefining and coming out who you really are. I think when you finish reading my book, you'll throw it and say, God darn it, I'm going to do the darn thing. I mean, really, you're just like, there's nothing I cannot accomplish.
Right, exactly.
But you got to unlayer, like you were talking about. You got to unpack first.
Exactly.
You can't start in the middle. You have to go all the way to the
Well, that's the
root.
thing. So why do you think women are so afraid to unpack?
Because the world has told us that we're not who we are. So the world has told us to put all these things on, I challenge this ad by CoverGirl that says, I am my makeup. I challenge that. I really do. I say, who are you naked?
Right. Wow.
Take off the lashes, take out the weave.
The lashes. Wait a minute now.
I got them on today.
Look,
but
everything.
Take it off. And who are you without all the extra?
Right.
Who are you in your purest state?
Right.
And do you love yourself
And
naked?
most people don't.
Exactly.
Think about Adam and Eve. They put something on
Right.
to be accepted. But who are you naked? And I think women they look at the world and they look at the advertisements and everything this world is trying to get us to be. And then we look at ourselves and say, we're not good enough.
Exactly.
But you got to show up who you are.
Whoever you are.
Whoever you are, bare and naked. Who are you? And do you love yourself?
Yeah.
The Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And many times we can't love people properly because we don't love ourselves.
Because we don't love ourselves.
Yeah.
And so it's a journey. And my book really is about going through a journey of loving yourself without
It's a journey.
anything.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So even at 15, you say you kind of started this at 15. At 15, what were you looking for?
At 15, I started this because I had an issue with comparing myself. Just looking at I didn't look like everybody else. I grew up in white schools. I grew up in Germantown, Maryland. Went to Seneca Valley High School.
Oh, good grief. You way up there.
Way up the road. But just comparing myself with other people, noticing that I was different. My hair was different.
Right.
My mom could never get my hair to grow. And so for a long time, as you saw in the trailer, I had to wear that little afro. And just realizing that I was different. And by 15 years old, I got sick of comparing myself to people. I think it was at 15 that I started developing my relationship with God. I thank God for our youth
I
ministry.
think that's amazing.
That we had our church. See, I grew up in church, but even when you grow up in church, things still come for you.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
But I
Exactly.
thank God for having that youth ministry. And not only my youth ministry, but we had a self-esteem awareness group in school for girls. And those things helped me. And that's what started me writing and shaping who I was and realizing, hey, I started looking at people that gone ahead of me or older women. I'm like, I ain't going to be like that. I'm
Right.
not going to be like jumping from relationship to relationship. I ain't going to let no dude treat me in type of way. And it was at a
Right.
young age that I began to see that and say, that's not who I am. I'm not going to be that woman.
Awesome. Exactly.
Yeah. And so I still made some mistakes, but I didn't make as many mistakes. Just realizing I don't have to be that person. I'm good at learning from other people's mistakes.
Exactly.
Well, that's a good thing.
I know, right?
Well, that's
Because I'm looking at their mistakes, I'm looking at mine, and sometimes I still don't get it.
But
Grace.
sometimes God you got to go bump your
Just
head.
bump your head.
Bump your head because you can tell somebody all what you need to hear. They can see it. But sometimes it's like our children.
Yes.
Right,
We
exactly.
keep telling them because we've been here longer than them, but they got to go
They
through
still
their
go
own
through it.
because that's a part of their story.
Exactly.
So we can't shadow them all the time.
Exactly. Well, let's take a quick break for just a moment, kind of gather ourselves, and we'll be right back with some more from Arthur and Pastor Portia Taylor with I Am Not That Woman. So you guys don't go anywhere. We'll be
Don't
right
go
back in
anywhere.
2 shakes.
Listen vision, listen vision. Listen vision,
Thank you, everyone, for tuning back in with us at UStyle Magazine Talk Radio with your host.
Hey, Bridget.
And I'm your co-host, Lonnie, and we're here with our beautiful, beautiful guest, Miss Portia Taylor.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Yes.
So we were talking off air, and I was telling you how even the title for the book completely has thrown me off. Like when I first saw it, and I read the title, and I'm thinking, okay, so basically what she's saying is I'm not that woman, which means I'm not going to babysit you. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything to you. I'm going to tell you exactly like it is. I'm going to tell you what you need to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it. Don't come at me with nothing else.
Right.
It's not that.
Not at all. Although I'm not that woman either.
Right.
I'm going to give it to you straight. But it's not that.
Right.
It's speaking to your past.
Exactly.
Like when you get born, I always tell people, if you don't like the way you were born the first time, you could be born again.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily about your natural birth. It's about your born again experience. And a lot of times after we get born again, our past still tries to come for us.
Right.
But the Bible says if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature.
Right.
And it goes on to say old things are passed away, and behold, all things are new.
Exactly.
So I say all the time, either your past has passed or it hasn't.
Exactly.
Either you dead or you alive.
Yeah.
But you know, situations and things always try to come to remind you of your past. It's in the area of your soul, in your mind, and your will, and your emotions. Always trying to remind you of your past. Even people, like we were talking about the break, that knew you when.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, I knew you when.
Exactly.
And what I say is I don't remember.
Exactly.
Because my past has passed away.
Exactly.
I don't even know what you're
And
talking
you know
about.
what? And you do.
Yeah,
You do
that's
find
true.
those people that always want to keep reminding you when.
Yes.
Well, I remember when you used to do this. Or I remember when you used to. You have those people that always want to keep reminding you.
Or label you. Oh, she
Exactly.
this.
Exactly.
Or she that. And like
Exactly.
you said, those I am statements, they empower you.
Oh, my goodness.
Exactly.
First thing in the morning, you know, the enemy try to get you. First thing in the morning, this is going to happen. You did this yesterday. This going to happen today.
Exactly.
You got to go to work. You got to get up and empower yourself. I am an overcomer. I overcame.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And today will be another great day. I am beautiful. I am wise.
Amazing.
You know, you just have to
Put them on your
Yes.
mirror. I tell people you got to get creative. Put them on your mirror because that's typically the first place we go.
Yes.
That's true. That
So
is
put
true.
'em
That
where
is true.
You know you're going to go.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know, go ahead and empower yourself before you leave the
Before you
bathroom.
go. Yes.
Exactly. So your book was kind of therapeutic for you, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Just writing through it, and,
Yes.
and like you said in the car, you were rereading some of it. So it's
Yes.
kind of still therapy for you.
Yes.
Like I did this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm an author.
I'm an author. It came from my I am statements.
Right. So this is your very
That's-
first book.
Very first one. Many more to come, but my
Oh,
very
absolutely.
Amazing.
first book.
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. It's on Kindle, and it's
Okay.
on PortiaTaylor.com.
Okay.
So it officially though it gets released May the
13th on
13th.
Mother's Day. I want to do it on
Oh,
Mother's
amazing.
Day.
I like
give
that.
to all women.
Exactly.
But you can pre-order it now.
Oh, okay.
If you pre-order now, you probably get it about the first or second week of May. I'm
Okay.
just doing my book signing at my church on May 13th. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm
Now I know I
excited.
saw on your social media that you were doing an audio.
yes.
How exciting is
that-
that? I know I saw it and I was like, oh, that is awesome.
It is. You know, the Lord said people need to hear your voice.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy for you to just have it narrated or somebody else to do it. But in praying about it, they said, no, they need to hear your voice.
Exactly.
Because our voice counts. And so
Exactly.
it's not easy, but I decided to do
That's
my voice.
good.
I was going to say, how hard is that? Like, what do you have to put into that?
Yourself.
Right.
You got to put yourself all into it, you know, and just, you know, there's mechanics to it, and I started
Right.
doing it the other day, and there's mechanics to it, but I tell you, it is so, just reading your own words, you think, God is so good.
Amen.
Like,
Wow.
when you,
Wow.
you know, you just begin to praise God, because you know it's only God.
Wow.
Like, it's the God in
Portia,
me.
girl,
It's
gone
girl.
somewhere now.
only God.
It's only.
It's
So
only
when people
God.
say, "Girl, you doing good," it's like
God
no,
gets the
God
glory.
gets the glory. I don't get
I mean, you just
I
like,
get
this
that.
is just God. And it's just declaring who you are. The God in me
Exactly.
is speaking to the God in you. That's all
That's
it
it.
is. It's his
Girl, get
voice.
away from me.
Yes.
So my
I told
prayer,
Bridget her book coming out
that's
this
my
year.
prayer, that this will open the door. I'm a pusher. I like to call myself a spiritual bully. Like
Right.
I'm a pusher. I
You're a
believe
purpose pusher.
anything God has called you to do, you can
do
it.
it.
Exactly.
You have the ability.
We get in our
to-
own
you
way.
do.
Right,
And so
right.
just by me writing this book, I hope it opens doors for so many women. Like I like to say that I go first and I open windows and I push open doors just for you to go through. And that's what I had to do. Overcoming my own insecurities will cause many women to do what they're called to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that kind of helps to keep you motivated and keep you
Oh,
pushing.
absolutely.
Just to know
Absolutely.
that you're pushing somebody else.
Yes.
So, because I'm pushing her, she got to see me
Yes.
keep
Yeah.
pushing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, do you guys have a lot of, like, what do you do at the church? I know you have a lot of things that you're doing down at the church.
Yes. Yes. We have an awesome women's ministry.
Okay.
Called Virtuous Women Ministry International. We meet once a month, and it's my favorite thing to do
Awesome.
to minister to women. And
I was
so-
going to say, do you spearhead that?
Yes, and
Awesome.
it's awesome. Just women from all walks of life. You don't have to go to my church to show up, but just talk. Have a girl talk. Sometimes we still them little girls that want to talk.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Yeah.
you just gotta be
Sleepovers and everything.
like you
We
just gotta
miss
let
those
your little
things.
girl out. Like girl,
Because the inner child doesn't go anywhere.
Yes, and
That's
share our
true.
stories.
That's true. That's
you know,
true.
sometimes when I do preach, and at my church and other churches, I do like "Girl, Let Me Tell You" segments, and that's a time to just
I
take
like
everything
that.
off.
Exactly.
And just be naked and be bare and share your stories and say, girl, let me tell you, I went through this, so
Right.
you don't have to. Girl, let me tell you, he ain't it. You know, just
Yeah, okay.
let me tell you why I dated him too. You know, just his name is different, but it's the same dude. You know,
It's the same one. I know that energy.
Same one.
so it's just, you know, I love to minister to women. So we have a very strong women's ministry. We have a very strong youth ministry. I love also ministering to young women because it's where it started for me.
I was about to say that's where it
It's where it
starts.
started.
Yeah.
My husband and I were youth ministers for many, many years before we became pastors. And so I never forget.
Oh, wow.
And what I like to say is I'm always talking to my younger self. That's how I
Right.
minister.
Exactly.
I'm always talking to my younger self because I know what I thought. You couldn't tell me at 17 I wasn't in love. You couldn't
Exactly.
tell me.
That's what I was gonna ask you the same thing.
I was in love.
Yeah. Yeah. That was your boo,
Like
right?
we was getting married.
Yeah.
That's
We went
right.
to the same college. You know.
Yeah, I think that's every young child. We be
Yes.
like, why you
And
doing
you
that so
know-
young? Like, did you forget how you was?
And
Right,
the older
right.
women be like, girl, and you're like, no. And so I remember asking God, don't ever. I went through one of the most public, humiliating heartbreaks ever.
Oh.
And I remember when going through it, I thank God I went through it though. And I remember going through it saying, God, don't ever let me forget how I feel right now. Because I want to
Wow.
be able to reach back and help me later. And that's what I do.
You know what? And that is so awesome that you even had that mindset at that age.
Yes. It was only God. It was only God. That's the first time I heard I'm not that woman.
Right.
Because I was going to slash tires.
Because that's the first.
Yeah, back
that's
in
why
the
I said
day. Yeah,
it's,
you know, back in the day,
It
that's
amazes me that you had that mindset because that's the
Yeah.
first thing we're gonna call. We're gonna play on your phone. You're
Yeah.
gonna answer this phone.
Yes.
You know, I
call
mean, we
it
just
a-
gonna take it
our
to the
crew. We
extreme.
calling our
right?
crew.
Listen, when I grew up, it was I'm a step to you. I stepped to everybody. Like it was, and even in me stepping to people, I was like, I'm not that woman. This is not who I am.
Wait a minute. First of all, not out there in Germantown, you wasn't.
Oh, you know, when there's nothing to do, you find things.
You find things to
Let me
do.
tell you, Germantown stand up. You know, they got their hoods too. Listen, don't count us out.
Don't count us out.
I love it.
But that first experience that you read in my book really set the tone for me.
Exactly.
Just thinking I had something that everybody envied, that everybody wanted. Like, oh
Exactly.
my God, they found young black love. Like, look at them, you know. And then for all this stuff to happen to me in one day, it was just I had a choice to make.
Exactly.
And life was about choices. I was like, I can either go down this road and be that ratchet chick,
Right.
or I can just say you wasn't good enough.
Exactly.
And
That's
thank
right.
you for pushing me to where I needed to be. And so
Exactly.
I always speak to myself when I'm speaking to young women. I'm always speaking. I got you. Not only that I got you, but I see you.
I see you.
Exactly.
I
I
see
love
you.
it.
So how do you have
I love it.
children?
I do.
So how do they feel about you?
Oh
in this
my
book?
God. Actually, you know, my book cover was actually inspired by my daughter. When I told, and that's a whole nother subject, but I'm writing a book called My Journey to Paris. That's my daughter's name, Paris. It took us
Oh, wow.
10 years to have her.
Oh wow.
And so when I told Paris that I was writing books, she started coloring on my book covers.
Oh.
Because she was pushing me, Mommy, you gonna be an author.
I
and
love
so
it.
I wanted my book cover, and shout out to Morgan for Design who designed it, but I wanted my book cover to be religiously wrong.
Oh, wow.
I wanted it
You
to
have
be
to explain
wrong.
that.
I wanted it to not, when it was in the inspiration section, I wanted people to walk by and be like, what's that?
Why is that right here?
Yeah, like,
They ain't supposed to be here.
One thing I said, that's not supposed to be.
Like, what is wrong? I wanted to open people up to a new world because religion just kills you.
Yeah,
It kills you. It's no freedom in that. God never, it was always supposed to be a relationship between friends. It was always supposed to be about relationship. And not a bunch of rules. We're going to mess up every day. You know, every day.
Because we're not perfect.
You're not perfect. And so I wanted when people looked at my book to say, especially when I'm saying, I'm going to read this. I want to read this. And it's just about relationships. So, yeah, my baby girl's name's Paris.
Yeah.
She's 10 years old today.
Great. Hey, happy
So she the
birthday,
only
Paris.
child.
She is the only child.
Okay.
Paris, trust me, honey, have the most fun, get everything you want.
Yes.
Trust me, she is. She's the only child. She's an entrepreneur. She's
Great.
a kidpreneur. Yeah, she has
Okay.
an awesome cupcake business, if I could plug that in.
Oh, great.
Absolutely.
I know. What's the name?
It's called Ooh La La Cupcakes.
Oh, that's cute. Ooh la la.
Oh, that's what the Howard University dancers.
Oh,
Ooh la la.
Okay.
Ooh La La. Her website is oohlalaDesserts.com, and she is really a busy entrepreneur. I mean,
Oh,
busy.
very good.
Oh,
Very
wow.
busy. So I'm so proud.
So she makes
very good.
everything
Yes.
from scratch and everything. Oh.
Did she learn to bake from you?
Her grandmother.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely
okay.
was
I
a
was about
mom.
to say, who
Definitely was a mom.
done told her?
Grandma.
Like me,
It's
yeah.
grandma.
I was about to say, did that start from the Easy Bake Oven? You know, back in the day.
She did have one of those.
Okay, because you know us. We started baking with the Easy Bake.
So
That
that's
is
awesome.
great.
So you got the journey to Paris.
Journey to Paris. My
Wow.
journey to
That's
Paris.
what's next.
Yes. So you
That's
can
what's next.
Read about something we don't talk about in the Black community either. And
Oh
so
wow! I was
I'm
going to say,
excited.
can you give us a little
It's
tidbit?
a story of infertility.
Oh wow!
Okay.
You know, and it's
Wow.
it's a great story.
Wow.
It's an
Amazing.
awesome,
I like
awesome,
that.
awesome story. And so
And you
it's just-
don't hear many
No,
people
That-
talk
and that's
about
what I'm
it.
just sitting here thinking to myself.
Like,
that's
not in
that's
our
one of those
community.
subjects
No,
you don't talk
because we have
about.
babies like you know?
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
when those of
Wow.
us struggle to get pregnant, it's like, who do you talk to?
It's taboo.
You
Yeah,
know,
it
you kind
is.
of just
It's
put
kinda-
yourself away and just, struggle silently. And I remember even with my first time I had a loss, I remember looking for women to talk to, but nobody that looked like me
Exactly. You're exactly right.
would talk to me.
You're right.
Wow.
And so I decided I'm going to blow that up too.
Oh yeah,
I love
look,
that.
God is using His voice
Yes,
over here.
Yes, I said there's nothing wasted in the community.
Nothing.
Nothing
Exactly. wasted.
And so it was a journey. It was a journey, but I got my beautiful baby girl.
I love that. I
Journey to
love it.
Paris.
Yes, my journey to Paris.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So let us know and let the audience know again where they can catch your book.
Well, you can get my book on PortiaTaylor.com, Amazon.com, or Kindle.
Perfect. And when is the audio going to be available?
Oh, so we're gonna probably release the audio later in May.
Oh, okay. Because
Okay.
see, I like the audio.
Yeah.
I'm an
version. I can
audio
listen
person.
to that on my
Yes.
way to work.
Yes.
Yes, I love me a good audio.
It's gonna be sometime in May.
Okay.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, you got to tell me about this audio because I want to do that because I have an aunt that is blind.
Yeah.
And her whole community is like, I want your niece's book,
Yeah.
but does she have any audio? And I'm like, should I get somebody to do it? See, this.
I'm hoping that I'm encouraging you
Yes,
to use
she-
your
to
voice.
use my voice. And I was a person that didn't like my voice because it was raspy.
And that's more reason you should use your voice.
But guess what? Everybody like it. And I'm like, well, it's so deep. Why did I have a deep voice? My siblings don't have a deep voice. You know?
Right,
So you
exactly.
would get up in the morning and say, I have a beautiful voice.
Mm-hmm.
I have God's
Perfect.
voice.
I have God's voice.
Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely.
And how can people reach you, Miss Taylor or
Well, I'm
Pastor
on
Taylor?
all social media outlets. My Facebook is Portia Taylor. My Instagram is I am Portia Taylor. I mean, not I am, the real Portia Taylor. My Twitter is at Pastor Portia.
Oh, okay.
And what's the name of the church again?
Victory Christian Ministries International at VCMI of Charles County.
Perfect.
Okay.
So all you folks down there in Charles County, because it's a whole bunch of y'all down there now.
Everybody going
Yes,
down there
I
now.
know
All
that for a
traffic.
fact.
Ain't that something?
Yes,
Everybody. I
everybody.
said, are they giving out discounts?
They giving away houses down
They're
there.
giving
Everybody
away.
down
Because
there.
every time I turn around, oh, I'm moving the water. Oh,
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
So all you beautiful folks down there in Charles County, make sure you get down there to Victory.
Christian Ministries
Christian-
International. It's right off
With
301.
Pastor Taylor.
Awesome,
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
It sounds like they're
She
putting
gonna get you right.
Yeah. They got
Give it to you straight.
an amazing
Yes.
church down there.
Yes.
Beautiful words to share down there. So all you guys down there in say Charles County, Charles County, get down there.
Get down.
So again, one more time, let's plug this book so people know where they can get it and when they can get it.
Listen, April 13th is when we started
Oh,
pre-orders.
y'all see she put the sexy voice on. Okay.
Yes.
It was Sexy Sunday.
That's sexy Sunday, honey. Did she
Ain't
come
nothing wrong with
through?
Pastor being sexy. Hey, boo.
I love it.
And so you can pick up my book. You can pre-order it now on
awesome.
Amazon.com or PortiaTaylor.com. The book release will be May 13th. You can go,
Perfect.
just check me out. I'm a blogger. And so
Oh,
go
great.
to PortiaTaylor.com to sign up for my blogs.
Okay, how much is the book?
Well, the book is $22 for the hardcover and $16.99 for the paperback.
Absolutely, you guys.
Okay, now,
Get
all
the
right.
book.
We got a second. Somebody explain to me the difference in the price when it comes to paperback and,
Kindle,
oh.
is it? Is that what you said?
No, the paperback and the hard. Like you said, the hard.
It's going to be a little bit more expensive.
Why
Yeah.
is that? I mean, because I don't know. I'm not a.
It's more sturdy. It's just,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And that's
well,
It
that
probably
typically
takes
with
more
the
to print.
publishing people, typically,
Oh, okay.
whoever you use, like for me, I use Amazon too, so the distribution.
Oh, okay.
kinda-
Well, that makes sense. That
They
makes sense.
put the
all the authors out there like yourself that have all these questions, like you are an author. You can go
Oh,
to
yeah.
my publishing company. This is liftbridge.com, and they can
Oh,
answer all those questions for
Uh-huh.
you.
So in a few months, Miss
Oh,
Bridget,
amazing.
the author,
Get that
will
book
be coming
out.
through.
She is an author. Come and wake up and say, I am. an
Oh,
author."
oh yeah, she.
I
she
love
is,
y'all.
It's gonna be
I love
UStyle
y'all. All right,
magazine.
you guys.
You see, she trying to drown out our voice.
That part.
Well, thank you so much for coming. This has definitely been a pleasure.
Enjoyed
We've been
myself.
waiting all week for
Yes.
you, and it was
Enjoyed
definitely
myself.
worthwhile. So we definitely want to say thank you. As we always extend an offer to all of our guests, you're always welcome.
Thank you.
So stop on
Yes.
through anytime you
Thank
want to.
you.
We right here every Sunday.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And we that's going to close another amazing show.
A beautiful show
Over here, UStyle Magazine Talk Radio. As usual, we are always happy to help you guys get your week started. Our Sundays over here are always phenomenal. Great information, great guests, beautiful smiles.
Yes.
And we want to thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us over here every Sunday from 8 to 9 at WLVS's Listen Vision Live right here on Georgia Avenue. So you guys give us a call, stop on through, and come over and say hello each and every Sunday from 8 to 9, UStyle Magazine Talk Radio Show. We'll see you guys next Sunday.
Bye bye.